Hi everybody, Mike from Pie for Life Games here, giving you guys a top 32 deck profile from YCS LA. What's your name, what you play?
My name is Thomas Durnil. I played Scareclaw, Adventure, Punk, Kashtira. I got top 32 at the YCS.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay,
Look at that thing.
Start with the hand traps. I played 3 Ash. This card's just strong in like every deck this format. 2 Droll. You just want to buy yourself a turn. I honestly wish I could have played 3. I might try to find the space for it. And then these are all small world bridges. They're all just like good enough. This card's probably the worst of the 3. And then this card's just like very niche in which decks it beats.
Okay.
And then 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. This card is crazy against Cash. The amount of times they arise or pass and you're just able to Gamma them to just get a free win. Was really, really good. It just combos so well with so many cards in your deck too. If you have like Enchantress, or just like a bunch of other like spell cards, or like post game 1 when you have Evenly. There's a lot of ways to abuse this, but it also just like beats all the other decks, especially Sprite. So then for the Scareclaws, I played 1 of each, the little dudes. They're all good. I kind of wanted to play 2 of the double attacker, maybe 2 of the booster. Definitely not too blown. He does piercing. This is just not very good. But I like came up where I wanted more of them throughout the weekend. But they are also kind of bricks because like they just don't do a lot by themselves sometimes. Then 3 Vsauce. This card is just a crazy extender. It just counts as a Scareclaw for the Link 1. It makes Baron. It makes Ancient Fairy with like souls. It just does so much. And just being able to special summon it from the hand is really good in awkward situations. And then finally, 1 Reichardt. I like considered playing 2, but you just never want to have to normal summon this guy. It's just really bad. Because like if you normal it and use its effect, then like you can't use right that turn. And that's like the most powerful cards in your deck. So yeah, I think just all of this is good. Maybe like 2 of 1 of those.
Okay.
Then for the Punk cards, I played 1 of each. Definitely only play 1 of each of these. You can play 2 Foxy Tune if you're just like worried about getting the tuners, because sometimes that can be an issue. It's like okay to start with Foxy Tune instead of E-Telly, because like you just grab Ziaman, make Ancient Fairy, and just add Deer Note. And half the time the way your combo starts, you just don't use your normal summons, so you can just tribute summon Deer Note later in the turn.
Okay.
Then 3 Destrudo. Destrudo's great. It makes 7s, it makes 10s, it makes 11s, depending on what your hand is. So like it just made every single synchro I needed it to all day. I did not regret playing this card at all. Being able to discard it off things like Right or Foxy Tune is just really good. The only time it's awkward is when your hand is just like all big dudes, but sometimes you brick and that's just kind of how it is. Then 3 Fenrir and 1 Scareclaw. Fenrir just lets you play through any single board in the game right now. It's so good. I beat so many people by like bricking and just like passing on things like Fenrir and like really niche game states where like we were both on like 2 cards. And once this card sticks on the board, it's replacing itself every turn, and they like have to trade so many cards in to deal with it. So you're just like in a winning position from then on. And then I played 1 Gamma Seal and 1 Lava Golem. This card was I never played against Centuria Runic, which is the only deck I wanted it for. So I just like it got sided out almost every single game. And then 1 Gamma Seal. This card's like the best card in the deck. This card is a negate while you control the field spell. It's really weird because normally how you use Kaiju's your thing and you tribute to your opponent's side. You always want this card on your side of the field. One of the only games I lost, or one of the only rounds I lost this weekend was because my opponent summoned their Gamma Seal to their field. Because it can remove counters from anywhere to negate. But yeah, you just get like infinite negates with this card. Then I played 1 and 1 for the Souls package. These cards were fine. I think they're cuttable, but like they're good small world bridges, so like it's awkward. It just really sucks because there's a lot of times where you like small world bridge 1 of these away and then you like draw into the other one and you just want to die inside. And then for the last monsters, I played 3 Enchantress, 1 Griffin Rider. For the love of God, don't cut the Brave Engine any lower. It doesn't matter if you draw 2 of these because then this is just a free extender. It's just another body. Like, I want to see these cards every single game. If they have Droll and Awkward, they have Droll and Awkward. Like, you're not winning those games with this deck. Then 1 Splash. This is just a trap card that's a negate while you control the Scareclaw Link 3. It's pretty good. It's like when you search off this when you already have the Reborn spell or your hand's crazy enough that you don't need it, because it just outs Dark Ruler. I thought about siding this and then I was just testing a lot. I was like, I'm perfectly fine with this card in my main deck. I don't think it ever like matters as a brick. 3 Right, obviously, and then 3 Small World. This card just gets you to every single card in your game. Sometimes it's awkward because like the small world bridges in this deck can be really, really weird. So you have to sit down, you have to figure out like what all of them are. Like one of the reasons I lost in Top Cut was just because I like small worlded away. I had to small world 4 Ziaman because I sided out one of the hand traps, and I drew E-Telly later on. I just wasn't able to use it. But you just had to be careful with how you use this card. And then this just gets you the Brave Engine, but it gets you the Strudo too, which is good. And then since you're playing the field spell deck, Terraforming is crazy, Set Rotation's crazy. These are all like bricks. These two are fine. This card sucks, but like it beats people. It just breaks through every board. Then 3 Cash Planet. I played the most of this planet because you just want to see Fenrir. Even when I open multiples of this, it just doesn't really matter because you can Souls it away, you can start usually put it at the bottom of the deck, or you can just hold it and just guarantee you have a Fenrir for the next turn, so you're just playing again. And it's just like puts so much pressure. You don't ever get to use the pop effect, but that's fine. 1 Tier Planet. This adds Visa Starfrost. We don't play Tier Elements cards. And then 2 of the Scareclaw Planet. This card's just been insane. It adds any Scareclaw card in the game, which is really good. And then the effect that it can just pop any card on the field if there's 3 or more defense position monsters. I would out so many cards, but just going Baron pop, Scareclaw pop, and then Draco back bounce a card. I was just outing board after board after board. Yeah, this card was just so good all day. I almost want to play 3, but like you don't want to start with this because you want to search it. Then 3 E-Telly. E-Telly summons punk cards. E-Telly's a crazy card. Yeah, I would never play any less than 3 of this card in this deck. Then 1 Waterfront. So this card's like the sort of star of the deck. Basically what it does is every time a monster goes to grave, gets a counter on it. And once you're up to 3 counters, you can add any kaiju, in this case Gamma Seal. I kind of wish I'd play more than 1 kaiju just to like have something to search on the following turn when they don't clear this card, but they can clear the Gamma Seal. But eventually you get up to 5 counters, and then you just summon Gamma Seal. And like between your Baron and your Gamma Seal negates, they're forced to like commit more cards to the field. Those cards would go to the graveyard, and then you just get more counters on this. It's like a little iffy against Cash just because like they don't have to send a lot of their cards to the graveyard, but that's like the only card, only deck that matters. And that's how I lost in top 32, is he was just able to play like with a lot of XYZs and keep stuff going from the field to the grave. And so he didn't build too many counters on this, and he was able to out the board.
Okay.
Then for the extra deck, we play 2 Lightheart. This card's absurd. It just searches the best field spell in your deck right now, and like gets you to any Scareclaw card, because then you just have the level 4, and the level 4 can summon his zone. So just by himself, he makes like any Scareclaw monster just makes the Tryhard without anything else. And then like it just lets you pop a card on the field. It also works really well with Vsauce because while this is in the grave, you control Vsauce, you can summon it, and that's really important for Saryuja lines. 2 Tryhard. You don't want to play 1 because it's important to your grind, and you don't want to play 1 because if the Unicorn banish, you're in a really awkward spot. 1 Cherubini. So you play Draco Sack, and that's to help you with Draco Sack to get to the right engine. Or I had it come up once this weekend where I sent a Scareclaw level 3 so that I'd be able to summon it back off Tryhard. This is like mandatory. You play Draco Sack, right token, and if you get nibbed, like there's just so many tokens that you have to deal about, and you always want to make sure you can summon Tryhard, so you just like sometimes need to summon this card. This card was the most mid card in the extra deck. It's cool that it can add a field spell back, but I think if it was like Nightmare Phoenix or Nightmare Cerberus, it would have had more applications throughout the weekend. Then 1 Draco Sack. This card was really good for popping cards. There was a situation I had on the last round of day 2 where I needed to out like, I think it was 4 cards on the board, and I already got through the Planet Pop, the Baron Pop, and the Draco Back Pop, and I still needed to go for another one. So I went Ancient Fairy and Scareclaw into Draco Sack. I was able to pop a card, and then like Saryuja for even more cards. I was able to just out his whole board even though he full comboed. But like also making Cherubini is just so huge. And sometimes just summoning more monsters too to like make Saryuja is really big. Played Access Code. This card was fine. It kills people. And then this card says draw 4 and special monster from your hand. That's not okay. I resolve draw 4 almost any time I could play the game. There'd be times where like my hand was a brick and I just put 4 monsters on the board and drew 4 out because I knew if I hit cards like E-Telly, Vsauce, just things like that that just let me play the game, it's worth it. So I'm just trying to see more cards. Then for the last XYZ, I played Zombie Vampire. This card has a really weird line with your punk cards. sometimes you like open only E-Telly and you just need to play the game somehow. So what you do is you go E-Telly, Xiamen, Durnil, Synchro into like your level 8 of choice, bring back Foxy Tune, and then overlay for Zombie Vampire, and just pray to God that you hit anything. Because like you have a lot of good hits, like any Scareclaw, Enchantress, Fenrir off your deck or off their deck, and like you don't get punished for this card anymore because like most of these decks don't exist. Like if it's Naturia Runic, yeah, it sucks, but like if you start with E-Telly and it was Naturia Runic and they hit, like you probably weren't going to win that game anyway, so it's fine. And then Scarlet was okay. It's cool that it breaks boards. It has other applications that never came up for me. Most of the time, it just like could have been a different level 8 synchro. I think it's like a very personal preference thing. It could be Borreload, Omega, or the Excel Synchron. If you summon Gamma on your turn, you can then make like Baron. And then this card was absurd all day. This is what lets you combo. This lets you add the Kaiju field spell. It lets you special a monster from your hand to unbrick. It's a 7, so it just like makes Baron really easily, or Draco Sack. It just does every single thing this deck needs it to do. And it just felt insane all day. Second Gen Punisher is just like the crazy out of nowhere, you get back in the game card. Like just resolving E-Telly puts this card on the board. If you resolve Destrudo at any point in the game, you're just threatening so much. I won several games with this card today. I'm very happy I decided to play it. And then like Baron is just mandatory. You have so many combos where you just start with like Benry or E-Telly, and this is like your 3rd summon. Griffin Rider is like your 5th summon, so you play through Infirm Nib even if they have it, and you're still just doing Scareclaw combo after it. It's like, that's just so dumb. Like, you should not be able to do all of that as your 5th summon, but this deck does it. And then finally, side deck. A lot of these cash players are on Arise Heart Pass, or just like some of them make the mid-range board if you hand trap them. So you just need 3 Dark Ruler. This card's really good in the Sprite. This card just like is good in Naturia Runic because you play a lot of spell cards, so that piece is scary. It's just good into like all the other decks you're like very scared to play against. That like, you don't know what they do. It's just generically really good right now. And then 3 Cosmic. This outs Floodgates against Lab. This outs Runic Fountain. That's really all I need it for. And then 1 Feather Duster. It's just a blowout spell card. This is how I beat, when I lost against the Striker player, I beat him game 2 because I was in like a very losing position. I drew Feather Duster and Feather Dustered all 5 of his spell cards, and got back in the game. And then 2 Evenly, just the same idea as like Feather Duster. This is just a blowout card. Cash, like, the whole idea with this deck is that if they Arise Heart past you, you just like FTK them. It gets even worse post like game 1. You just Evenly them, and they know post game 1 they have to be more afraid of Nib. And then 1 Appointer, 1 Call By. These are just like the you go first, you see them, you win the game. I never saw either, so they were not necessary. But like they're really good. When you draw 5 to 7 cards, it's really easy to see these. This card beats Labyrinth. That's really all it's there for. If you go first and summon this, rather than Griffin Rider, their deck actually just can't deal with this card without seeing unsearchable cards, which are like specifically Sphere Mode or Lava Golem, and a lot of them are cutting them for Kaijus or Kurikara, and this card just beats Kurikara because you just wait till the end of their turn, and then when they set their purple cards, you just give them this, and like now they're down 2 purple cards and they're never outing your board. And then for more hand traps, you want the 3rd Droll just to stop any deck that loses a Droll. And finally 2 Nib. I just thought this card was going to be great today, and it was. Every time I saw it, it was perfectly good. Because most of the time I was siding in going first. So the idea is like if they somehow break your board, you just drop this and you're just back in the game easily. And then like it's just another hand trap going second. It's just the next best one to play. Because I want to have around 20 going second, or like 20 hand traps, which I think this is like close-ish to. It's a little lower, but then you play things like Gamma Seal, Lava Golem, Fenrir, Brave cards. You just have a lot of ways to go second.
All right. Well, congratulations on top 32.
Thank you.
I love the deck. 60 cards, 15-15, I assume?
Yeah.
All right. This is Mike from Fireplace signing out. Catch us next time. Remember, like and subscribe. Peace.